What's up, bitches? This is Silent Rob. And do you know what completely fucking blows my mind? Okay? It blows the fucking brains at the back of my fucking skull. Okay? All over the place, making a big fucking mess. Okay? Because that's what would happen if it happened. This is what I don't understand, you know? What I don't understand is developers making crappy games. Okay? Pieces of shit. On the floor. Okay? Stinking up the room. They make pieces of shit. And then they're surprised when people call them out and say that it's a piece of shit. I'm of course referring to Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. Let's see here. The Xbox 360 version of this game has 52% on game rankings. And I'm not a review whore, but typically you can get a pretty good idea of what a game's like, especially a Resident Evil game, by its review scores. And it's not looking too good on the Raccoon City front here. But what's really blowing my mind is when these developers are surprised. You're surprised that a squad-based Resident Evil shooter isn't gonna be popular with people? Are you fucking kidding me? That's like saying, oh, I didn't know a first-person shooter Final Fantasy game wouldn't be accepted very well. I'm so surprised. Okay? Nobody's gonna be surprised about that. You guys play games, you know? You guys make games for a living, and you're surprised that something like this wouldn't take off? I watched so much gameplay footage of this game. I haven't played it yet, but watching some of this gameplay footage, who would want to play this? Are you fucking kidding me? A lot of people out there will say that Resident Evil 4 started the downward slide for the Resident Evil series, and a lot of people will say that Resident Evil 4 is their favorite Resident Evil. I'm kind of the odd man out where, you know, I kind of bounce back and forth between which games I like the best, you know, but I in no way regard Resident Evil 4 as a bad game. But it did start to change the formula. It's like, oh, you know this slow-paced survival horror game? Let's go ahead and not make that anymore, okay? Let's go ahead and change it. Let's do that. And they did with Resident Evil 4, okay? But Resident Evil 5 started to get belligerent, okay? Resident Evil 5 started to piss people off. I, for one, don't have... Okay, Resident Evil 5 doesn't anger me and make me hulk out like a lot of people does. You know, as a matter of fact, I made a video defending it when it first came out. It's not a bad game. But when that game came out, you know what I said? You know what I said to myself? Whew, well, at least it's not a squad-based shooter! Okay? At least it's not Operation Raccoon City! And when I said that at the time, nobody knew what I meant. They're like, Operation? What the fuck is this motherfucker talking about? Okay? Nobody knew what I was talking about until now. Now they're like, oh, we should have known. Okay? And, you know, a lot of people will say that you can't really judge a game on its review scores. And I say this too, as games like Nier and stuff like that got kind of bad review scores. But as you look into the gameplay footage, and you start watching some stuff about it, and you look into it a little bit more, and you start hearing the game's soundtrack, and you start reading some good things about it, you realize, I want to give this game a shot. And you're very surprised. But when a game comes out, like Operation Raccoon City, and nobody likes it, nobody, well, you know, that's not a good sign. What does the PS3 version have? The PS3 version of Operation Raccoon City has a 46%. That's based on 13 reviews. And then these developers are gonna come out and be like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean you didn't like it? Thought for sure people like shitty games now. Okay? How dumb of me. How foolish of me to think that people wouldn't want Resident Evil to be even more dumbed down and lame. Back to the drawing board, guys. Okay? They say that just challenges us to make a good game. Why don't you make a good game to begin with? Okay? I'm lenient on a lot of things. Okay? I can see the good in a lot of games. But I have yet to see any good on Operation Raccoon City. Okay? Case in point, I usually go to GameFAQs a lot too. Game FAQs, GameFAQs. I don't even care. Okay? Well, I don't give a fuck how it's pronounced. Okay? This is not about that. but usually I go on here to see some user reviews and user ratings and stuff like that. On GameFAQs, it's got a fucking 6.1. Alright? Okay, not a good sign. As a matter of fact, I think the only good review for this motherfucking game came from fucking Destructoid, which usually gives every game low reviews, so I'm just... my brain just... okay? So... I go to the boards and I'm reading up on this game, and there are a couple people that are like, it's good, but, you know... those are usually people that already bought it, and they have to say it's good at that point, don't you? You know, you're kind of pissed off. You know, you're feeling cheated. You know, you're fucking pulling knives out of your back. You know, okay. I mean, let me tell you, I got a knife collection from fucking Capcom over here. Okay, I got boxes of that shit. I'm thinking about turning the basement into a fucking knife reservoir. Okay, for all the fucking knives I've been pulling out of my back from years of fucking Capcom, Activision. Okay. Give me a fucking break, all this, you know, I'm constantly getting raped, my fucking butthole hurts like crazy all the time. So anyways, I'm looking into this game, and it just totally fucking sounds like something I just hate. I don't like, okay? You know what I hate about Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5? AI teammates. You know what I also hate? Games that have single player modes, but you can't really play them because the difficulty isn't balanced right to even play them, and you need other people to fucking play your games. I'm not the type of person that likes to depend on other people to play their games, okay? If I'm gonna play a game, I'm gonna play a game right motherfucking now, okay? Right now. Right now. I'm not waiting for you to get on the fucking server, okay? I'm not waiting for you to finish up your WoW game. I'm not waiting for you to go fucking take a shower, take a shit, get a BJ, go legit. I don't give a fuck what you're gonna do. I'm gonna tell you what you already knew. You wouldn't think it'd be very hard to make a Resident Evil game that everybody loves. Everybody seems to have problems with every one of the fucking games. I mean, if you think about that, you know, like, nobody's happy with... Nobody's gonna really say that there's a perfect Resident Evil game out there. And, you know, I don't think I could even say there is one too. You know, like, the way I look at the Resident Evil series, you know, I really like the first game because of the atmosphere. I love Haunted Mansion type shit. And the first one, the remake, is probably the scariest of all the Resident Evil games. Then you have Resident Evil 2, which I always liked Resident Evil 2 quite a bit, but Resident Evil 2 was always kind of easy to me. You know, even as a kid, I would blow through Resident Evil 2 no problem. And the fact that it had the two different scenarios, but they were so close in gameplay, you know, kind of pissed me off. Resident Evil 3 was my favorite for a long time, you know, because of the Nemesis and everything. You know, I loved getting chased by the Nemesis. It was really sweet. I mean, Resident Evil 2 had a Nemesis-type creature in it. I think his name was, like, Mr. X or something. I can't remember. But Resident Evil 3 was awesome. Yeah, it didn't have the two campaigns, but I still fucking loved it. Now, Resident Evil Code Veronica, I have never been able to get into this game! I don't know what it is, okay? I think my problem is this. When I first played Resident Evil Code Veronica, I played the Dreamcast version, and I remember it came on 2 discs. I remember I got the end of the first disc, and every time I would get to this boss fight on like a cargo plane or something with like some creature, and I did not have enough bullets to kill this motherfucker, man. I must have got to this motherfucker 2 times and did not have enough bullets to kill this guy. I was just like, fuck it, man. Alright, I love Resident Evil, alright, but I'm not a fucking sadist. Resident Evil 4 comes out, and everyone loved it, for the most part. There was, of course, a huge subset of people that were like, oh, what are you doing? You're fucking my game up. Okay, they can't take that shit. I, for one, think Resident Evil 4 got about the right balance, right? You know, I still don't like the AI on Ashley. You know, I don't like escort missions. Nobody likes escort missions. Okay, newsflash. Newsflash. Okay, common knowledge coming at you. Nobody likes escort missions. AI cannot be depended on. Ever! I don't care how good your AI is, okay? I don't give a fuck how good you tout your AI is or how it's gonna be. Oh, we all remember the fucking AI in Crysis 2. Fuck you. So, I love Crysis 2, but the AI in the game is a shit sandwich. The point of this video is, well, developers, don't be surprised when people say your game's a piece of shit when it's a piece of shit. And Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City might have its good points. Hell, I might even like it a little bit. But it's not a good game, alright? You can watch the gameplay footage on YouTube, watch the HD footage, watch reviews on it. It just doesn't even look good. I mean, yeah, you can watch a trailer and it can look halfway decent, but I can make a trailer of Resident Evil Survivor on the PS1 and it would look halfway decent. I guarantee that shit. And we all know that that game fucking sucks.